Can I create the most effective method for building horror settings? One that delivers maximum fear with minimum struggle. Can I make it so you can create settings like Silent Hill, Castlevania, the Digital Circus, and all kinds of other horror places? This is the challenge I've taken on and I think I've solved. If it's something you believe will be useful to you or just want to see how this goes, sit back and enjoy as I've so much knowledge to drop. Starting with GURPS. Part 1. An Introduction to Horror Settings. According to GURPS Horror, all horror settings can be reduced to two symbolic settings: the bad place and invaded house. The bad place is where you go to the horror, and the invaded house is when the horror comes to you. Pretty simple to understand. For this challenge, I decided to focus on the bad place first, saying as I feel it is the more common of the two options. Then I did what I always do when it comes to these things. I broke down the topic to the smallest truths I can and defined things. That brings us to defining what the bad place actually is. The bad place is a hostile setting that acts as both a trap and a threat. An environment designed to isolate characters, distort reality, and psychologically break them. To go a little further, for clarity's sake, it's not just where horror happens, it is the horror. The bad place undermines safety, twists perception, and imposes a logic that punishes those inside it. Whether it's a haunted house, a cursed asylum, or a glitch in reality, the bad place doesn't simply contain fear. It manufactures it. If you want one of my formulas for it, it's this. The bad place is containment, plus reality violation, plus narrative hostility. From this I've worked out the atoms of the bad place, which will be crucial to constructing the system. Part 2. The atoms of the bad place. With everything mentioned in that formula, I went further, breaking down how to create what we'll call the bad place experience. There are 8 atoms, and it is these, combined, that result in the story experience. 1. The lore. This is always first. The bad place can't work if there is no reason to enter or stay. This frames the trap, emotionally or logically, and sets the stage for everything else. 2. Enclosure and entrapment. This locks the gate. It solidifies commitment and tension. Once the lore brings them in, the trap snaps shut. Now there's no way back. 3. Spatial dissonance. This is the first active disorientation. Once they're stuck, they try to explore. And now, even navigation fails. The layout becomes part of the threat. 4. Contradictory logic. Now it's not just the space, it's the rules. Logic, sequence, physics, cause and effect start breaking down. The bad place becomes cognitively hostile. 5. Sensory distortion. Once the rules are bent, the senses betray you. Sounds, smells, reflections, temperatures, they all mislead, confuse, or lie. 6. Temporal anachronism. Now the past seeps in. Old tech works. Forgotten voices echo. The characters become unmoored in time, often emotionally, not just physically. 7. Autonomy of the environment. The place isn't just broken, it's alive, or at least reactive. It has will, it moves things, it closes doors, it changes as if it has awareness. 8. Symbolic malevolence. The final layer. This is when the characters realize it's not random. The place hates them. It's targeting them. It's judging them. Every object, every symbol is dripping with intent. Now, altogether, this creates the bad place experience. Don't worry about tackling them all though, since only 3 are absolutely essential. Enclosure and entrapment, autonomy of the environment, and reality violation. And with reality violation stuff, you only need at least one of these 3. Spatial dissonance, contradictory logic, or sensory distortion. The rest is bonus ammunition. If you're curious about this in more depth on what I have to say, tell me in the comments and we can discuss some stuff there. Also, if this has been useful or fascinating or whatever to you so far, tell me in the comments. Comments help the algorithm know that people do want content like this, and on a personal level, it helps reassure me that I should be making stuff like this. Staying silent just leaves me alone with my demons, which are nihilistic monsters that I combat with everything I create. Now, after doing all this, I thought I had figured out everything I needed to create the bad place. But then a thought came to me. Could I specify the different types of bad places? I mean, if people know which ones they are aiming for, they can better decide which atom they need to focus on, right? So, that brought me to this. Part 3. The 8 bad places. These are the different hows and whys for bad places. Each subtype is its own flavor you can use. There is the Relic, an ancient location steeped in forgotten sins, curses, or rituals. It often symbolizes repressed trauma, ancestral guilt, or the inescapability of the past. Think stuff like Dracula's castle in Castlevania. 2. The Labyrinth, a shifting or endless maze that traps characters. The space loops, warps, or changes behind them. It's all about evoking helplessness and loss of rationality. It's often used to trap characters in a metaphysical or logic-based nightmare. So, for this example, think of stuff like the Backrooms. 3. The Glitch Zone, a pocket of broken reality, alien, digital, or cosmic, where the rules of physics, logic, and perception don't apply. The amazing digital circus falls into this category. 4. The Inescapable Womb. The bad place becomes a comfort trap. It nurtures, seduces, or lulls victims into a false sense of safety. This is a passive horror that represents addiction, denial, or willful ignorance. Good examples of this: Other Mother's World and Caroline. 5. The Living Prison, a location built to contain, punish, or torment. So, it's either a hell, asylum, jail, or metaphorical cage. This symbolizes retribution, guilt, or divine/cosmic judgment. The example I wish to draw attention to is Saul's various trap rooms, given why they are taken there and how those behind things often view themselves. 6. The Mental Mirror, the setting that adapts itself to reflect the character's inner fears, memories, or regrets. This is personalized horror that forces introspection through projection. This is what Silent Hill was meant to be, particularly with Silent Hill 2, though where that goes is its own conversation. Pyramid Head really shouldn't be used as much as he is. 7. The Watcher's Nest, a space where surveillance creates the fear of constant observation and judgment. This activates paranoia, shame, and powerlessness. An example of this is the internet. An example of this is Big Brother's domain in 1984. And 8. The Infection Zone. This is when the place leaks into the world. A contagion, a psychic residue, or a physical spread. This one symbolizes trauma, contagions, and irrevocable change. Stephen King's The Mist is an excellent example of this. These are all the examples I can think of. Feel free to see if you can find any others. You can combine some of them for complexity, but that's a different discussion. What I wish to get into now is the main event. As promised, I've come up with a method. All it takes is 7 steps. Try it out for yourself, and if you want to share your results, tell me how it goes. Part 4, Story marks bad place design method. Step 1. Define the horror experience. What specific fear should the bad place evoke? You're not just designing a scary place, you're curating a psychological response. Choose one or two from the list provided on the screen, or define your own. Step 2. Identify the subtype. What kind of bad place are you building? Choose from the 8 subtypes, or combine them. Step 3. Establish the trap. How does it isolate or ensnare the characters? You need a containment mechanism, whether it's physical, emotional, spiritual, or psychological. Step 4. Break natural law. What rules does the place break to unsettle the audience? Choose at least 2+ violations of logic, physics, or perception. Again, I provided a list on the screen if you want some inspiration or reference material. Step 5. Design the place's will. What is the place's goal, or apparent one? Every great place feels intentional, even if it's not sentient. Maybe it wants to punish. Maybe it wants to test. Who knows? You've options. Step 6. Seed environmental storytelling. How do we make it speak without exposition? Use environmental symbols to imply backstory, intent, or moral rot. Maybe there's an empty crib. Maybe there's a locked room with claw marks. Think about things that would creep someone out without ever telling someone why. Step 7. Anchor it to the character. How does this bad place reflect or challenge the protagonist? This is the masterstroke. The bad place isn't just a location. It's a mirror, pressure cooker, or a crucible. Make it thematically linked to the character's internal conflict. In fact, I'd start with the protagonist itself, and then tackle each thing one by one through what works best to target them. But that's my upstream, midstream, downstream thinking at play. Follow all this, and you should be able to create your very own bad place. Now, if you want to know if it's good or not, I have one more thing for you. Part 5. The Bad Place Diagnostic System. I created this to help judge things. Aim for at least 4 yeses, since that means you've aligned yourself with 67% of suggestions. If you don't get 4, see if you can level it up. Now, does it invoke a specific fear beyond spooky vibes? Does it trap the character physically, emotionally, or spiritually? Does it break 2+ natural laws or sensory expectations? Does it feel like it has a will or purpose? Does the place speak through its environment? Is it tied to the protagonist's internal struggle or arc? If you do get 4 yeses, I'm confident that you've got a functional horror setting. And hey, if you've reached this point in the video, thank you, as frankly, I stopped making long videos like this because they are a ton of work that tends to go unappreciated. Still, I'm trying to do the best I can and find ways to improve for the sake of shaping a better world in the creative sphere. If you'd like to support my mission, you can comment on this as said, or you could become a channel member, as any support helps me steadily reach a point where I can focus more on stuff like this all the time. And if you want to see what type of work I produce, check out my other channel, where I'm pushing the craft forward for people like you and me.